Hi. So real quick, there's gonna be some writing, and there's a little. Oh, that's not my first slide. Oh no. There it is. Okay. So there's a puzzle in this slide, and if you have a chance to get out something to write with, either your iPhone or your paper, and you need to actually start writing now, because there's a blue letter on each slide, and there's a red letter on each slide. And what you need to do is, it's two parts of a puzzle. So either choose to follow either the blue letters or the red letters. The first two are G and O. That's going to be U and N. And then at the end, I'll explain sort of how they go together. And there's a prize to be won. So as Sarah mentioned, I'm one of the co-organizers of Ignite Seattle. Ignite started back in Seattle about 4 years ago. There were two guys that founded it, Brady and Bree, and it was a two-part event. Brady did the lightning talks, which is what we're seeing in the format here, 20 slides, 5 minutes. There was another part that was like a science challenge. It was actually building bridges with hot glue guns and popsicle stands, and then getting people to stand on the bridges and seeing how many people could stand on the bridges. I think the winning bridge was like 5 people could stand on it. This is the part of Ignite that I love. So Bree moved to New York about 2 years ago, and I had the chance to jump in and take over that challenge part of it. And that's what I wanted to do. That's what I love doing. The first challenge that I did was to give everybody five sheets of 8.5 by 11 paper and a roll of Scotch tape, and to see who could build the tallest tower. I sort of anticipated maybe the biggest one would be like 5 or 6 feet, and the tallest one was 9 feet tall, which completely just blew my mind. And at that point, I was completely hooked on it, and I love doing it. So I'm going to come back to that a little bit later, but first I want to talk about a couple of things that I've learned doing this. And the first one is to keep things simple. Usually there's about 300 or 400 people participating, and so I try to limit the number of supplies and also the rules, usually like 2 or 3 rules and 2 or 3 supplies. And there's a corollary to that, which is that you really want to embrace constraints. This is another structure building task where it was decks of cards and scissors. And the cool thing about constraints is it forces people to kind of think outside of the box. And somebody came up to me and said, well, can I build the scissors into my structure? And I said, well, yeah. I mean, I hadn't really thought about that, but that's what you get when you don't have as many things to worry about. I forgot groups of 4. Okay, so one of the other rules that I like to follow is to try and get people to group into at least 4. Usually people come to Ignite with like 1 or 2 other friends, and when you force people into groups of 4, it gets them a little bit outside of their normal social group, and that helps people interact a little bit more. You can see in this slide, this is a mousetrap building thing. There's 4 people in the slide, except that there's actually 5 people, because I photoshopped the guy's head out to prove my point. But it's a flexible number, 3, 4, 5, whatever. So the other thing that I love, this is a crowd of geeks, and people are always trying to hack the format and trying to figure out how to kind of get around it. This is kind of added by the fact that I don't always explain the rules very well. We had a card game where everybody had 5 cards, and they were supposed to trade and then bring me back like the best 5 cards. And one of the teams that won brought me back a pack of 30 cards, because they didn't say that you had to bring back 5 cards. And so again, people are always trying to figure this out. This is my catch-up slide, because I wanted to kind of give myself a little bit of a barrier. It's fairly self-explanatory. We did a game with spaghetti sticks and gumdrops and spilled beer. And well, we didn't have the spilled beer, but it didn't mix together. And so I recommend don't do anything with food. So why do this? And for me, it's because I don't really know what's going to happen. So we get 300, 400 geeks, hyper-intelligent, ADD-driven geeks all in a room, and ask them to build something, and we don't really know what's going to happen. And that's why I love doing it. That's why I come to the O'Reilly conferences. That's why I'm here. We did a thing which, this is from the 10,000 Cents Project, where we asked people, we divided a dollar bill into a grid and handed out butcher paper, and you can see, asked people to recreate bits of the dollar bill. And people, again, within those constraints, they sort of came up with different things and changed the dollar bill. George Washington has cat eyes in that picture. So the puzzle. So hopefully you've been writing down either the blue letters or the red letters along the way. On the very last slide, there are 2 question marks. Those letters are blank. And what you need to do, if you've been writing the blue letters, you need to find somebody that's been writing the red letters and team up and work together and see if you can solve the puzzle. I don't have 2 $20 gift certificates to Powell's, but I'm going to get them. So you can either find me tonight or later on in the conference, and if you can solve those puzzles, come see me. And that's it. Thank you very much.